Speaking on that, how do you know when, when it's time to put a person, away from the church? I mean, do you let them continue to mess up for a while and then you put them out, or do you just put them out right then?
Well, you confront them about it. You confront them about it, and if they don't want to change, now we're not talking about people that just mess up. We're talking about people that's willfully living in sin. If you shagging up, you don't belong in anybody's church. You need to get saved. You see what I mean? I mean, if you're fornicating and you know that you're doing it, when you confront it with the word and you don't change, it means that you don't want to change, and ultimately what it means is you don't want to serve God. So if you don't want to serve God, then why do you want to go to God's church? Except to tear it up and bring that fornicating spirit with you. You see that? And that's the way you have to look at it, is you talk to people. Let them know, hey, you can't. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I was growing up, I was in this Sunday school class. A lady was teaching the class. At the time, I was too little to know what was going on, being in her class at that time. But what happened, we got a new pastor who was the pastor that I grew up under. And when he came in, he started cleaning house. The pastor that he had replaced was out running women. And so with that, everybody else, it's a free-for-all. You see, we just do whatever. And so when this new pastor came in, he began to clean house. And it just so happened my Sunday school teacher, who was a sweet lady, she was living with a man that she wasn't married to. And he told her, I can't let you teach these children and you living in sin. You see? And so he's told her, you could either get married or you're going to stop teaching these children, And so they got married. And a few years later, my mother was up teaching Bible study. And the man that she married, he walked in with a gun and set it on the front of the table there in the church. And basically told the church that him and his girlfriend or wife were fine until we got into their business. Of course, because the devil's not going to bother you as long as you're living in sin. He already got you. And so it's not until you start living right that he comes in and makes havoc, you see. And that's what happened. And so, you have to deal with sin, and you have to confront people. And sometimes that means hurting feelings and things like that. But ultimately, I think if somebody really have the heart for God, they'll turn. If they don't, they'll go the other way. And if they go the other way, it means that they didn't belong with you in the first place. They were there naturally. And so then you have to think, okay, if the Spirit of God wasn't in that person and they were here, then what were they here for? What was their assignment here? If God didn't send them here, then who sent them? You see what I mean? And that's the way you have to look at it. There's only two kingdoms. And if you're living in sin, you're not for the kingdom of God. And so if you're for the kingdom of darkness, darkness and light ain't got no business coming together. But what happens is the devil got people disguised. And the church is just inviting them in. Hey, you got to love people. You got to love the kingdom of darkness. Except the kingdom of darkness don't love you. No, the best way to love somebody is to live right and make them hold a standard. And if they don't want to do that, they don't need to be among God's people. You see? All right. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right.